Hey guys, Kelsey here. I realized that I have never actually told everyone why I even went to Japan in the first place. Obviously, I wanted to learn the language, but I never shared what actually brought me to that point of wanting to learn the language. I think the obvious guess that most of you probably have is yes, I did watch all of the anime as a child. Mostly it was Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. That was my first glimpse into, oh my gosh, there's this country, I don't know how many miles away, but it's got these things and I really enjoy them. But I didn't just stop with the pop culture aspect of Japan. When I really started getting interested in it was in my high school senior year. And during that time, we had this special class called Senior Project. Everyone in the course had to learn some kind of skill or build something, and it required a year-long project of researching and actually doing an activity. We literally could pick anything we wanted. So in my case, I can't remember where I first heard about it, but I became interested in the Japanese tea ceremony, or you can call it chado or sado. Once I actually got it in my mind that this was what I was gonna learn, I went all out for it. Of course, I had to write a research paper, all of that stuff, but then as far as actually getting the skills, I got incredibly lucky and I managed to find a master for the tea ceremony who happened to live in my city, and she was teaching it privately from her home. So she actually had an entire tea house set up inside of her apartment, and it was the most amazing experience. I would go there every single weekend, meet with her, and she did one-on-one lessons with me. And I did this for an entire year. She taught me the correct way to wear a kimono, and she actually taught me to put it on myself, because after the second time of seeing her, she's like, you now need to show up every time fully dressed. I'm not going to help you anymore. So she gave me very clear instructions, and yeah, dressing yourself is really hard. I learned a lot of respect for that process, and I felt so blessed to get to learn that from someone who was a true expert and literally had been teaching and doing this tea ceremony her entire life. So I had a lot of great experiences that year, and that was my first interaction with speaking the language as well. I did not know what I was saying in the slightest, but I did have to learn some phrases that were required for the tea ceremony. And so that was my senior year. After that, I did stop learning the tea ceremony. Unfortunately, I did not have the funds to continue it, but I did get to learn one of the forms. And yes, there are multiple. There are different tea ceremonies for different occasions, seasons, whoa. After I finished up my time studying that, I finally went into university. When I went there, I honestly thought I was going there to become an anesthesiologist, so I was a biochemistry major. I ended up changing my mind a lot, but the thing I finally settled on in the end was Asian studies, and I ended up studying all of Asia. But we had to pick a language as part of the major, and we also had to choose a couple focuses. Japan was one of my focuses, and I also chose that as my language. And so I began learning in college, officially, but I found out I'm pretty terrible at learning languages. Nonetheless, my passion exceeded my difficulties, and after I graduated in Asian studies, I was going to go for a master's. Then my program got terminated because of budget cuts. So I decided to go into the teaching credential program to become a math teacher. I was still taking Japanese classes because I just could not let the language go and the passion go. And I was so determined to learn it. Then an opportunity came up to be an exchange student. And so I went and signed up for a 4-month program. And my plan was, I'm going to go to Japan for 4 months. I'm going to learn and absorb everything I can. And then I will come home and keep studying to be a math teacher. And and that didn't happen at all. I fell in love with Japan in a way that I never thought I would. I knew I was going to have an amazing cultural experience, but you just don't know until you actually show up somewhere and start living that life, how much it's going to mean to you. So I came in there, and I'll admit I was completely clueless about a lot of things. And thankfully, a lot of my Japanese friends and classmates were very supportive about teaching me about what was okay, not okay. I learned some hard lessons, got scolded a couple times by my friends, but I'm grateful to them for all of that because it made me less dumb when I was there. And thankfully I was able to get along quite well in society after I learned those lessons. Aside from that, and I think this is obvious to everybody who is watching this channel now, I did decide to stay in Japan. And so I first continued my education program, and I did that for another semester. And while I was taking my second semester in Japan, I was actually also doing night classes online to get a TEFL certificate, which is teaching English as a foreign language. I knew at that point that I wanted to stay in Japan, and so I decided that I was going to make sure I had the proper skills to fulfill that job. And yeah, that's how I did it. And so that's actually basically it. That's how I ended up in Japan. So for now, thank you so much for watching my video, and please like, subscribe, and share. And also hit the bell for notification for future videos, and leave me a comment if you have any questions about anything I talked about or anything that you would like to hear about in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!